All right, this is the Bachelor Pad. That was my very first attempt at partially mixing in music while I start. I just got done going over a few things with Ken DeBose. He will be the engineer on this project. So the Bachelor Pad, doing this for YouTube, first time in the crazy red room. So everything's red. I'm a little bit red. So we'll see what we can do. We're going to do a Bachelor Pad story time. Part of it because it's, number one, it's factual. Don't lie here on the Bachelor Pad. We try and tell the truth. Some of the stories may seem far-fetched. I have a very weird issue or problem with anytime I have sex using a condom, right? Which pretty much should be almost every time you do it. I believe in taking the condom with me. I've watched enough weird things on TV. The turkey basting, right? We've all seen turkey basting. You leave DNA behind. I've seen enough of these newfangled CSI and all these other type of shows that I get freaked out. So over last night into late last night, I get home. I hung out with a young lady yesterday. Let's just say a condom was used. I have said condom. I take it, I tie it in a knot, try and put it back in its original packaging, and then stick it in my pocket to dispose of at my house, my toilet, my trash, something along those lines. So I took a picture, and I wish I could put this picture up because it's horrible. I'm a horrible person. I get home, I throw the wrapper, the condom, and whatever happened to be in my pocket. I think it was like a gum wrapper or something. And this is on top of, I just dropped a deuce. And not a impressive deuce by any means. It was just a normal, it looked like rabbit pellets or whatever. So I took a picture of it, and it's horrible. I'll probably post it on the Bachelor Pad Radio on Facebook so you can get a visual of it. It's pretty disturbing. First person I sent it to was Travis Blazer, and he tells me, wow, that looked like you literally... you literally pooped out a condom wrapper, and a Wrigley Spearmint gum wrapper. So that wasn't what I was going for. I think the text I sent him was, and that was Tuesday night, right? I'm kind of a creep. I take pictures of my poo. If the poo ever is like beaching and making it out of the water and it's laying on the side, like a log jam or something along those lines also. Well, as Ken and I were going over some things here with Twitch and a few other outlets that we're going to be using, he was like, yeah, stories like when you smacked AP with a condom in the back of my Kia, and all of a sudden the story comes rushing back to my head. That seems feasible. Why would I have done that? Basically, we were out. I had sexual relations with a young lady. She was very hot. And by looking at me, you could pretty much look and go, you're not the most handsome guy on the planet, right? So again, some of these stories may sound a little bit far-fetched, but I do have the ability to talk. Sometimes you can just talk, use a bunch of words, get him to say yes a few times, and then, it's magic. They said, I've had too many drinks. All the other good-looking guys have gone home. I guess I'll stay with this guy. He seems to be fun to talk to. Maybe he'll talk after the sex. So I end up, I guess from the story Ken and I were talking about, we're in a vehicle, we're having quite an argument. AP is yelling at me saying, you didn't have sex. I was like, yes, I did. I was like, why do you think I was gone for like 30, 40 minutes? Whatever, you're full of shit. You didn't do X, Y, and Z. Well, for a guy who never wants to leave any DNA or traces of the fact that I was there actually behind, I had the condom with me. So I guess from what Ken was telling me, and now I kind of remember, I pulled the condom out. The condom is tied in a knot, the used, portion with all the goodies and whatever, and it's tied there with the dangling part at the top. So I guess I take this condom and I go, oh, I didn't have sex with her, huh? What do you call this? And I reached over and I smacked him across the face. Smacked him in the face with a used condom. He about threw up, had a fit. He's got a weird phobia, and I guess, look, I get anyone who would be smacked in the head with a condom that you didn't use, and even if it was yours or whatever, it's got some form of creep factor in there. But he takes this, he takes it from me and throws it out the window, right? So he throws it out the window. We're laughing, I guess, and granted, this is a very faint memory. I don't really remember or recall 100% what and how it happened and went down. But so that was something that was brought to my attention. Now, mind you, this is a year and a half, possibly a year and a half, 2 years ago. But this is normal. This happens, like, stories like this happen in our existence, and especially in my existence, quite often. So Ken went, if I remember correctly, you were nervous and couldn't sleep and you couldn't really deal with anything because your condom was outside, you're like, who knows, on Vinoy Road somewhere, like out in the middle of nowhere. And it seems feasible to me because knowing my luck, I will toss this condom out. There'll be a domestic disturbance. Guy will get out of the car, yell and scream at his wife and kill her or stab her or something. She'll fall over and die on my improperly disposed of condom, which I get it, right? I'm sure tied a knot. I was with these guys. There's got to be cameras of me being somewhere. But in that token, it's just something that I don't. It freaks me out. If my DNA is, and Lord knows I never want it inside of a female, right? Because that's where babies come from, well, at least part of them. So without having that in my possession, I feel a little bit freaked out. So the fact that I did this yesterday, it was funny. I took it. And I've had some weird conversations with women in the past. They're like, oh, you can just throw that away or you can flush it. I'm like, no, I'm going to take it with me. I'm going to put it in my pocket. That seems like a much more rational decision. Now, I've talked to probably 30 guys about this, completely baffled. Like, they're a little bit freaked out. They're like, you literally take your condom with me? They say it makes sense after they think about it and, they've heard the horror stories and you've seen stuff online that people will do weird stuff with your DNA if it's not around. But I can't leave it. There's been a couple other instances that, yes, I've taken it with me. I've had weird conversations with females. I can't imagine leaving a girl's house and having something weird happen that, to that person, or somebody breaks in and kills them in their sleep and my condom is sitting there in the trash bin and yeah, I'm suspect number one. So that's just note to self. So I guess what I learned about myself is I'm a creep for that picture last night. The fact that I took that and, did my normal thing, so it was funny to me. I told Ken about it. Ken mentions that I smacked AP in the side of the head with a used condom. AP took it from me and threw it out of a window. That's some creepy condom talk. Now, here at the Bachelor Pad, we always advise wearing a condom. I've heard way too many stories, and a couple stories that are hitting a little close to home and a little too recent. I'm not sure if I'm pregnant or not. Not saying that I'm the individual that's dealing with it, but the young ladies that, I had unprotected sex at this point. Nothing worse than randomly having a child when you don't want it and whatever. I'm a little bit older, so I could probably figure it out and factor it out, no problem. I'll just be 86 going to my child's high school graduation. But for anyone else that's listening, use a condom. And hey, take it from me. Take your condom with you, right? Take it with you, tie it in a knot. It's not creepy. Just make sure you wash your hands after, right? I mean, if you were in there and you wore a condom, I guess getting a little bit of her lady sauce on you wouldn't really wouldn't be too much of a freaky situation. So that was my Tuesday, right? So that's a Tuesday night. That's how we get down to the Bachelor Pad in the Bachelor crazy red room. I know we wanted to talk a little bit about story time. It'd be awesome if I had Travis with me to do story time, but he is out doing other stuff. We had a story a while ago, Don't Be a Mo. And this Don't Be a Mo story time here on the Bachelor Pad, generally has a reason for telling the story. So it has spawned 15 other weird stories and we told the story, did something, it sparked something in someone's mind. They went ahead and had a similar story. So it's kind of like an avalanche effect with this story. So I think, man, this was a long time ago. We're out. There's a few of us, 3 or 4 of us, good friends. We go to a strip club that was local to us at the time, and it was a lot like the movie Porky's. It was in a red barn. It's in a red barn. It had like a moat across it. You had to cross a little drawbridge. You had to do a bunch of weird stuff to get there. It was notorious that bikers would hang out there, that weird bar fights would happen. Just everything you could imagine. If you've ever seen the movie Porky's, if you haven't, it's a great retro film to watch. Boy. So we're there. We somehow talk a few young ladies into leaving with us and going home. And I think there was 4 of us and only 3 girls came back. So there's 4 of us, 3 girls come back. I am a younger version of me, completely wasted. Like when I say wasted. So I could care less if women are coming home, farm animals, whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to be messing with any of them, right? I may share my couch pizza with the billy goat if a billy goat came back, but definitely nothing to do with the females at that point. So I get back. We get into the house. My buddy immediately grabs one of the young ladies, grabs her by the hand, and takes her up the spiral staircase upstairs. And I looked and I went, "Oh, you're a slick one." That was a pretty quick thinking. He nabbed probably the hotter one out of the bunch. I mean, they were both hot, but this one was extremely hot. So he takes her upstairs. So now it's one of my friends. We're going to call him Mo for story's sake. So we've got Mo, we've got myself, and this random young lady that I don't even remember her being there on the car ride home. All I know is there's a hot young lady who came back from a strip club with us. So, and a horrible strip club like Porky's or whatever. So she's standing there, ironically pretty hot. So we're standing there in the kitchen. We get to talking, and it's funny when you're intoxicated and there's a female around and you're way out of your game. One thing I can tell you, unless you have things served up on a platter like they were this evening, don't drink that much, especially if you plan on trying to make a move or get laid throughout the evening. The more alcohol you drink, number one, you're not going to be slick. You can mess it up and get 0, or you can get lucky and trip and fall into the vagina and then not really remember it in the morning, right? So thank God I had multiple people there to place all this story together to remember it 100%. So in the Don't Be a Mo story, Mo and I are in the kitchen. She's digging around, and this isn't Mo's this isn't Mo's house. This is Mo's parents' house at the time, right? So it's his parents' house. We're there. Nobody's home. So obviously it's a free for all. It's like Weekend at Bernie's or I don't know, family vacation, whatever it is. But nobody's home. So we're pretending that this is our house. So we're there. She begins to ask me questions like, "Wow, you guys are really good friends, huh?" And I was like, he's the best. He got my first pair of Air Jordans, were from him. He just told his parents he lost them. They bought him another pair, and he hooked me up, right? Because my parents were not buying frivolous clothes, and especially not, I don't know, at the time, like $100 pair of tennis shoes or whatever. So my first pair of Timberlands were from this gentleman. And I'm like, "Yeah, he's a great guy. That's my buddy." Well, then she starts again. "Oh, so you guys are good friends. You guys share a lot of stuff." I'm oblivious, right? I'm wasted and oblivious listening to you guys share stuff and, "Oh, you guys are really good friends." Somewhere she stops me like, "Look, you simpleton, right? Just hold on one second. So you guys are really good friends. You share stuff." And she reaches down and she grabs me by my package and went, "So you guys share everything." Meanwhile, he's on it. I can see him over my shoulder, over her shoulder, and he's just smiling. "Oh, this is good. This is gonna happen." I'm oblivious. I'm like, "Oh, yeah. So that's what's gonna happen." So she reaches down, unzips, goes right in the kitchen, drops down, begins to to play the flute or the trombone. Right? She begins to do whatever. I look down. I'm baffled. I'm intoxicated and I'm baffled, but I'm happy and pleased. I think this is pretty neat. So I go, "Wow, this is happening, right?" So I look down. Next thing I know, she's up on, she's now standing, and I look, and my buddy is standing right behind her. And I went, "Oh, oh, she wasn't just into me for a minute, right? And just curious that me and Mo were really good friends. She's now right behind Mo. Or, I mean, Mo's right behind her. And now he's going at it. So now we're doing like a, I don't know, you've seen those old funny cart things on the railroad where they get on and they push the lever or whatever. So yes, she's standing here, Mo's back there. There's a bunch of moving back and forth with the young lady. So this has turned into a pretty interesting evening. Now, mind you, this is not the first time that we've done something like this either. We've done something like this on multiple occasions. Just never really in this scenario, and, you know, I think we were all hip to it. I was just oblivious. So the young lady then grabs us each by the hand and was like, whoa, 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 slow down, boys. Like, everyone calm down. She tells us to calm down. She grabs each of us by the hand and walks us over to the living room, like, couch, and then begins to disrobe us and take our clothes and pull our clothes off and pulls pants and this. So now it's even, like, the night and morning or whatever gets creepier and creepier as it goes. But now I'm sitting on the couch. My friend is sitting right next to me. We're both naked. She tells us to sit there. And at this point, it's like a weird, bizarre sexual game of Simon Says. I'm going to do almost anything this girl asks me to because she's hot. And she just filleted me in the kitchen, right? So that's not something that happens every day. I'm a little freaked out. Tells us to sit there. She goes back into the kitchen. And this is one of the points that you'll understand as it trickles down through other stories. She begins to go through the cupboards and asks if we have any olive oil. Do we have olive oil? Of course, I don't know because I don't live here. Mo knows. Said, yeah, it's in the spice cabinet, and it's up over here, and somewhere in there, you should look around. She finds it, comes out giggling, holding it, and goes, oh, extra virgin olive oil. How quaint. Again, I'm oblivious. I don't know what's happening. She walks over, she takes us from the couch and makes us like sit in front of the couch. So the ground up and then the couch seating. So we're sitting right in front of the couch. And as we're sitting there, she begins to take the olive oil and pours it all over me, all over him, and then kneels down in between us and has a conversation like a doctor doing an inpatient intake. And she's skiing. And she's right in between us. And it was creepy and awkward because I know my buddy's getting a handy like 3.5 feet to my left. I'm getting a handy 3.5 feet to the right. And I'm trying not to make eye contact with him because that would be weird. Okay? That would make it weird. The fact that it's happening, not so. This is just like a completely automated weird Dutch rudder, I guess, in a scenario. And it's happening. Yeah, she's in between and she's doing this. And it's, I mean, it's whatever it is. Well, she ends up cutting loose of both of us, grabs me, and lays me down on the ground. And I went, okay. She gets on top. Mind you, this is one of those times I didn't need to worry about taking that pesky condom home with me in the morning or disposing of it myself because all this kind of happened really quickly, and she hopped on top and began to ride on top of me. So I'm, at this point, by no means coherent enough to even understand what's happening. I think I realized at some point, not wearing a condom, I could have a horror baby. This is probably not a great idea, but I'm going to go with it, right? YOLO, only live once, whatever the scenario would be. So while she's on top riding me, and I think it's pretty awesome. I've had some sex in my day, and this is younger me, but I've still had some sex in my day. And as we're going at it, I feel her dig her claws into my shoulder, and her eyes get about this big, like Odie from Garfield, right? Her eyes get big, and I think, haha, I hit the spot, right? It's like, I've seen that look before, never in this position or whatever, but good job to me, right? I'm feeling pretty confident. I think it's pretty awesome. And then the look gets more intense and actually kind of like demon-like as she begins to growl, and I went, okay, that's weird. So I'm kind of now looking for, like, maybe I look around her shoulder and I'm going to look at Mo and go, hey, what? She might be going all poltergeist on me. I don't know what's happening. And as soon as I move her a little bit to the side, mind you, she's still stuck on top of me. Just as I move her to the side just to touch, there's Mo. Mo is in her naughty place, and I'm in the other not so naughty place, right? So we're there. Now it dawns on me, right? This is full-blown porn stuff. I don't do full-blown porn stuff. I'm actually pretty vanilla, right? Do a couple things that are pornish, but this is like full-fledged. Never in the rules of engagement of two guys messing with one girl, you always have an equator line, right? The belly button. One person can be below the belly button, the other one has to be in this range, or maybe in the boob range. But never the two bad places. Because in case you all know, and I don't mean to give you an anatomy lesson, but there is a little thin layer of skin membrane keeping the good place and the bad place together. If you're in the better of the two places, and then you're in the bad place, you can feel the other finger. Like it's noticeable. So I'm laying there and I'm trapped because I've got Mo, I've got the possible future baby mama of the whore baby on top of me, not wearing a condom, and we're going at it, and I don't know what to do because, ironically, at this age of my life, if I was that intoxicated, strong like bull, right? There is no knocking down the soldier. So I'm locked in. I'm locked in as if like a marlin taking a giant hook, like from a deep sea fisherman. I'm hooked in. I can't go anywhere. I'm certainly not going to roll out underneath where Mo's business and whatever's going on. So I can't go out that way. I can't go out the other way because I'm locked in, right? I'm locked. I don't know what to do. So I'm trapped. I'm freaked out. I don't know what to do. So I tell the lady on top of me, excuse me, miss, I'm gonna come. So you should probably get off of me, right? How about you just dismount and I'll go about my way. Of course I'm lying. I'm absolutely nowhere near the climax. Because I'm freaked out because my buddy Mo is back there banging away like a friggin' chimpanzee with the little fucking cymbals making all kinds of noise. So I'm fucking trapped. I don't know what to do. She says the worst things that I ever wanted to hear in that scenario. And in that scenario was, oh, come inside me, right? Don't worry about it. Come inside me. Hence, this is why I made the whore baby conversation, because she is a bad lady. I'm probably going to, impregnate this lady. And I was like, no, that's a bad idea. But at this point, the alcohol is beginning to run through my system. I feel ill. I feel nauseous. I need to get out of here because I'm either going to vomit on her, make a whore baby, any number of things, and I'm creeped out that my buddy's back there banging away like a chimpanzee with the freaking cymbals. So as this is still going on, I have to go to my happy place, which is funny because even like the big girl hogging story, I had to go to my happy place, tweak my own nipples, and do whatever I could to make myself feel better. But as I'm doing this, I'm a little freaked out. I don't know how to act. I don't know what's happening. And as I go to my happy place, I begin to think of just the most beautiful, awesome, like try and go tranquil, take myself away from it. And ironically, I get to a point to where I can have an orgasm. I end up getting to a point where I can finish. And as soon as I finish, you go from, you begin to, as soon as it was pliable enough to pop out, I slid out from underneath that woman like a mechanic who's on those rolling things, and I slide out, I stand up, the alcohol's hitting me, I feel nauseous, I'm wobbling, I don't know what's happening, like, this is horrible, I don't feel good. I go over and I had a game of like NHL, whatever the year was, saved on the TV, and a bunch of pizza sitting there. So I've got these things sitting there, and I went, oh, this is not good. He's still going at it, right? I don't know if they changed position or did whatever. I just kind of tried to stop listening. So as I stop and as I do whatever, I'm like, okay, this is fine. They get finished, and we should take a shower. And I went, I'm fine. I'm going to sleep in my weird olive oil goo. Whatever I have on me, I'm sleeping in it. I want come get in the shower with us. I was like, I'll never get in another room with Mo again in my life. Like, I won't even go swimming with him after this. Like, I was that upset. So they go upstairs. I lay on the couch, don't remember anything, wake up in the morning. I get woken up with a, hey, oh my God, I had so much fun last night, and a kiss on the cheek. And I look, and it's the lady. And I'm like, oh, who are you, right? Like, oh. She was like, oh, I had a great time. We should do that again. And all I can think in my mind, I'm trying to muster the words is, no, we shouldn't do it again. Should never do it again. This should never happen in my existence. I don't care if like got you, dude. If you guys are into it or chicks are into it and whatever, not my thing. Unless you stay on opposite sides of the belly button, and even then, it's only because there's two guys and one girl, and that's just how the night wound up, right? Which I've had plenty of those. Nobody ever broke the rule until Mo. So she leaves. She says, "Oh, here's my number, right? Here's my number. We should do that again." I was like, "Oh, cool." Crumple it up, throw it behind the couch. Never want to see you again. I'm a little creeped out. So this happens, leaves. My buddy comes walking down the stairs first thing in the morning. Comes down, looks like the cat that ate the canary. Very happy and pleased with himself. So he comes down and he looks at me and goes, "Yeah, right? How cool is that?" I spring out of the couch in my hungover status, shaking probably from the alcohol withdrawals, and go, "Never again. Don't you ever do that. What made you think that that was okay? Like, how was that okay to do?" And he's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa. What do you mean? Why are you yelling at me? What do you mean, why am I yelling at you? You literally did the thing in the bad place and the little skin and the membrane. Like, who does that? Right? Like, that's so out of the realm of possibilities, and all the things that have ever been rules of engagement of doing something like this. You just did the most horrible thing I could ever think of." And I went, "Number two, what made you on your first encounter," because it's not my thing, it's something you get into special occasions, every 90 days, whatever, where you go in the bad place. And he looked at me and he went, she brought out the olive oil. And I went, what does that have to do with the price of tea in China that somehow, right? You just, that meant it okay. And he was like, "Dude, that's like an international symbol. Olive oil means they want it in the bad place." I've never heard of such a rule. I don't know this bad place thing. I don't know anything about olive oil. Like they have special equipment for that, right? They have some shit that's made in a lab, right? Like Astroglide or something, right? I have used the Astroglide. It's actually very, very nifty. Not as good as I thought it would be, but it was still pretty solid. But that's a thing. Like that's what's used or whatever. So how does that happen? And we argue about it, whatever. I bust his balls for the longest time. So he's actually worked into a whole thing in a system called Don't Be a Mo. So, of course, because everything we do and everything we live is lived online vicariously through others, and we tell the stories. Before, webcamming and all these other things, we would just tell the story. Anytime you'd be at a party, you'd be drunk, and this will, this segment of story time this will be used as a reference point, this story, like 13 times after, right? Everyone has used the olive oil excuse or whatever now. So, yeah, it's a real thing. Don't be a Mo. We were at work everywhere we went, whether we were at work or we were out somewhere. If he came up randomly and there was a group of people I'd already told the story to, he'd be like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" Somebody would turn and, "Hey man, don't be a Mo." "Dude, she had olive oil. What was I supposed to do?" Like that was his defense, like that olive oil is something. So I don't know if it's transcended and it's gone on to others that, hey, olive oil, like a girl gets olive oil on the side of her salad means you're getting frisky tonight. I don't know, but it's a little bit bizarre. So that's story time here at the Bachelor Pad, and hopefully hopefully it wasn't too creepy and off-putting, but that is my life and has been my life for quite some time. So we had to get this story out to get other ones out. I'll probably bring Blazer in for the midget in a hot tub story, because who do you know that has had sex with the midget in a hot tub, right? Use that as a thinking point. Till next time, this is the Bachelor Pad from the Red Room. The sun's gone down, so it's actually almost Black Room. But we'll be back shortly.